Welcome back to Brit in Poland. So this session is going to teach you a little bit about how depressing Warsaw can be in the winter. So we're in the middle of November now. We're at that period where everything is dark. The temperatures are really starting to go down. I think it's about 3 degrees tonight. They haven't put the Christmas lights up yet, though you can see they're in progress. You've got the tree behind me here. This is the old town castle square, Plac Zamkowy, which normally is absolutely bustling with life, but as you can see has got a little bit quieter now. But the thing to think here is it's not all doom and gloom. When Warsaw gets like this, when it's cold, when it's wet, when all the sundresses are gone, all the ice cream shops have closed, that point when you know there is no warm weather for several months, they do have a solution. And that would be the Warsaw Illuminations. So in Warsaw you have 2 Botanical Gardens and Wilanow Palace. Each year they have these special illumination events. So this video is just going to show you what you can see and tell you a little bit about these. So I hope you enjoy. Please stay tuned. Dzień dobry. Welcome to A Brit in Poland. This channel has a number of missions. The main one, to create a video for every place on this list. Though I could use your help. The help could be in a number of forms. You could like my video, you could subscribe to my channel, you could follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or you could donate to my Patronite account. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoy the video. The first stop in our free stop tour of Warsaw's Illuminations is the Botanical Garden. Now this is located in Lazienki Park, so it's pretty convenient to get to. It's not that big a walk from metro stations. There are buses that will take you virtually right there, so you shouldn't really have any arguments about finding this place. Ticket prices about 35 zloty, I think. You have the option of buying online or buying on site. I recommend online because the queue is much, much shorter. And I'm not going to talk about the history of the Botanical Garden because I have a whole other video for that, which I will put the link to on here now. But effectively what you will find here is it's nicely themed. So you have a lot of animals, a lot of plant life that is represented by the many, I'm going to guess thousands, if not millions, it's got to be thousands, right, of LED lights that you will have there. And these sites are proudly proclaiming, because they're using LED lights, that they are a lot more energy efficient. What you will also find in common with all 3 of these sites is you cannot take your dogs. You will find them probably very busy. There will be lots of children, but persevere, because I personally think that these light shows are well worth the visit. I think they're pretty spectacular in all 3 parks actually, and I loved the nature theme in this one. There are plenty of spots for selfies. These wonderful light tunnels that you can go down. And yeah, I mean, I spent about 30 minutes here, but I was just kind of rushing through. If you're, I don't know, stopping to take lots of selfies or with young children, I imagine your visit could be a lot longer. Be careful if you're perhaps phobic to certain creatures, because a lot of different creatures are represented in this exhibit. But all in all, I was very impressed, very imaginative. This is the first year I went to this particular light garden. You know, I wouldn't necessarily go again, at least within this year, without some kind of date or
I can't think what other reason I would go. But it's pretty cool. And feel free to check out Instagram, of course, for additional pictures of all of these sites. And yeah, some random little fish. But I like the way that they utilise the different parts of the garden to maximum effect here. And yeah, kudos to them. This was a wave of water or something, I think. I don't know, there was some description. The second place we're going to go to is Villanov. Now, okay, Villanov is a district of Warsaw, so let's say the palace at Villanov. This is a little bit more of a trek. Here I'm showing you a bit of a comparison between how it looks in the lovely summer versus what you will see on the evenings. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, these places are normally open about 4 till 9 p.m, last entry at 8:30. But getting back to Villanov, so ticket prices are a little bit higher for this one, 40 zloty a piece. If you're an adult, of course, children are considerably cheaper. And you get some of the same, well, they're all unique exhibits, but you get a lot of flowers in this one too. This tunnel I normally love. And I normally love it because they play some kind of Chopin music or similar as you're going down. This year, I don't know if it was broken. I don't know if they were being cheap, but there was no music. So I was a little bit annoyed by that. They had these historical paintings, well, paintings of historical figures which were lit up and you pressed them and very little happened. But what I really loved about this particular showcase, and we're about to get to it in a second, is there was a theme this year which I absolutely personally adored, and that is of ancient Greece. So you have this kind of labyrinth full of Greek gods, a few heroes, a few mythical creatures, and I was blown away. I mean, myself, I love Greek mythology, so this was a real treat. And it's worth noting that this show, I think, is new to this year. In previous years, I've been here, they've had different exhibits. So I love the fact that I went there for the sake of doing a video, even having been there a few times before, and I was treated to something completely new. If you want to see what it looked like a couple of years ago, there is one of my earlier videos, which I will put a link to here. But as well as the ancient Greek theme, there was also this kind of astronomy theme. So you have like an astrolabe, you had this interactive planet experience, which I thought was really cool. You had like a telescope, an observatory, all these wonderful things. And it's all linked with Jan Sobieski, who was the owner of this palace in the 17th century. And this palace is fantastic. There will be a video coming up about the history and the origins of this place. It is a bit of a mission to get to because it's like right in the south of Warsaw. There are buses. From the centre, it will maybe take you about 45 minutes. And an Uber will probably cost you anything between 30 and 50 zloty, depending on the time of day. Oh, that fountain, by the way, plays some classical music, so at least that was still working. And, oh, God, I love it. Oh, and they have this wonderful kind of laser show against the side of the palace, which I gave you a hint of at the beginning of the scene. And yeah, I think it lasts for about 15 minutes or so. It's pretty breathtaking. I love these kinds of things. So, well worth it. Our last stop is the Botanical Gardens, the second Botanical Garden, should I say, in Powsin. And Królewna Śnieżka means Princess Snow White. And Ogród Światłek means the Garden of Light. And this place was, again, pretty breathtaking. You could see they no expense spared on the exhibits. So as you've guessed from the name of the show, the theme is Snow White, and they really take that to the next level, showing you scenes from the whole Disney movie. And yeah, this place was absolutely full of people. I was amazed given just how far it is, because this is by far the most difficult of the 3 to get to in Warsaw. I had to take, I think, 2 buses. It took over an hour. When I was coming back, I was on a bus full of screaming children. It was, my personal hell. It was hard to get any footage here. I really prefer to get footage without people in it, but it was just impossible unless I wanted to wait for 5 or 10 minutes at each stop to wait for people to go. I think I'm going to have to get a small army of people to just hold people back while I take footage in the future. But yeah, so this place was really busy. There were ropes around particularly the Snow White exhibits to stop people touching them and interfering with them. I didn't see any parents respecting this with their children. That's all I'll say to that one. But in terms of originality, I was impressed. This particular garden in previous years has had other shows. Last year it had Peter Pan. I think it may have had Alice in Wonderland a couple of years ago. Not 100% sure on that one. But I love the fact that they change it up each year. Tickets were similar to the other Botanical Gardens, so I think about 33 zloty. Again, if you buy online, you skip the queues, so it's worth doing that, to be honest. But what I liked about this particular garden was the variety. So yes, you had the whole Snow White theme running through it, but in addition to that, you had so many other types of exhibits. So like animals, like you have here. You had various kind of light shows. Lots of trees were decorated. Again, like 1,000,001 places for selfies. If that's your kind of thing. So, it's an Instagram goldmine. I would say that of all 3 of these, actually. But really, the imagination that goes into preparing these light sculptures. Here you had another laser show. Not quite Villanov standard, but hey, at least they're trying. So, yeah, I think I spent close to an hour walking around this one. It's actually quite a long route, and it is like a specific route that you follow here, where the other 2 gardens are kind of free roaming. This one, you follow the arrows. May get slightly confusing in places, but yeah, the variety. I think this is the one you can say they put the most effort into. I wouldn't say it was my personal favourite, because I really love the Greek gods in Villanov, but the Snow White theme was very touching. And I remember there was one little girl who had to touch her hand, and I was like, oh. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and feel free to subscribe, like, etc. Do zobaczenia.